is it the only time you've played East this season that you've lost? I know it was back in the day. No?
Played them once, so no. They were very good.
Beautiful. Any relief at having won at Eastern Oval?
Oh, relief for the media. Probably relief for some of our supporters. I don't think it had bearing on our playing group.
Beautiful. And how was it coming off a big win? Obviously, first time that you beat Redan since 2004 in a final.
Yeah, they were very subdued after the game. I thought the supporters were very happy and pretty cheerful and stuff, but I think the playing group was very calm. Yeah, it was different walking into a change room, nothing like that. It was a very good win, but obviously they've got their eye on a bigger picture.
Yeah. I think the experience from last year, you know, they obviously want to take it one step forward always, but they've really got, you know, they know what it feels like to get into that last game.
Oh, very much so on the young guys from last year. You know, you're kind of not sure how they're going to go, and we're hoping that the experience from last year would carry across, and I reckon you could see it in our, like the younger part of our group. They just had that calm feeling that they've been there before, stuff like that, and the young guys performed really well.
Fantastic. How handy would the week off be after this? Obviously you're looking to the weekend, but...
I don't even look that far. We're looking at East Point this week, and that's it. No, it's irrelevant.
Beautiful. Any changes to the team for this week, going ins or outs?
Yeah, Sullivan trained well last night, so we'll have to have a look at that. The report was thrown out on Luke Neville, so he'll be available. Yeah, so we've got a pretty full list. A couple of the guys played well in the twos. They'll be eligible, and we've got Aaron Christensen back from the Calder Cannons, so he could be available as well.
Beautiful. And who really stepped up for you in that game? Obviously on the weekend it was...
I think we had 22 contributors, you know, so I don't think there was any outstanding players. I think there were some four-quarter players right across the board, and that's what you need to win finals. I think you'll probably talk to the other coaches, they'll be the same. But yeah, we had 22 contributors on the day.
Beautiful. And just lastly from me, how do you think you're going to match up on East, and how are you going to stop this guy?
Yeah, well, they've got a different midfield. They've got some really hard runners, some physical tackle pressure guys that are in there. Obviously the bloke sitting next to me be a major concern for us, but obviously we have to stop the supply, and then obviously they'll have to work on some of our strengths as well. So it'll be a really good game. I think there's some great matchups all around the ground. Weather looks like it's probably going to be a bit different to this week or last week, so it'll be a really good game. Like we said last week, it's been a very even comp. So
compared with last year, you lost the corresponding final last year. Does it make it that much easier winning
no, we
this
didn't.
final?
We won this final.
Oh, you did. Sorry. Okay.
Same as last year. We won the first one, lost the second
one. Okay. Sure. All right. I'll forget. Scratch that.
Scratch that question.
All right. The under-18 situation. I won't go into too much detail about that, but what does sort of a setback does that make in terms of your options with regard to selection in the next couple of weeks?
Probably only Aaron Christensen. Like, he would have come back. I'm not sure. I don't think he would have played in the 18s this week, because he wouldn't have qualified. So from a perspective on the under 18s, I don't think any of those players were any viable to come into our side at all. We've currently got 2 under 18 players that have played all year, in Greg Hay and Timmy Hill. So they'll still play with us. Yeah, it's sad that administration blue has cost those boys an option to play in the final, but at the end of the day, it's a club mistake, and it was pretty daunting looking at those players upset last night when they were told. But if you break the rules, you do the time, and it's a pretty harsh penalty. But we played an ineligible player, so it was pretty sad last night. But I don't think it'll have any effect on the senior group.
And I've just got one more set of questions. O'Connor for DJ.
Is that who you go with, Gav?
I would suggest that would be my first thought.
Yeah.
And
I think you're probably right.
And who will Slidey go to?
You might have to ask him that question, because I might just play Slidey as an offensive player. He doesn't normally always play a defensive role. He's a goal-kicking midfielder, so not sure who Slidey will go to.
Fair enough. Okay.
I'll give you the O'Connor one.
Fair enough.
It's the obvious one. They've played in each other before. He's probably ranked in the top football fullbacks in the last 5 years. Same with the full forward sitting beside me. So, it'd be worth paying your money to go and watch those two play.
The only reason I asked was that Chambers played fullback last week.
Yeah, but it's all about role play, and the full forward for Redan is totally different than the guy sitting beside me. So, if I went with the same guy every week, you've got to apples for apples.
Sweet, good, mate.
Good. Done? Good. Okay.
What are you taking in from your round 8 win? Obviously it was, a long time ago, but a win's a win. It was the last time you played them.
Yeah, look, I mean, as you mentioned, it was a long time ago. Size really different compared to when we played them then. Probably got about 8 or 9 changes since that game, as with Sunbury. So I don't think we can read too much into it. We'll probably at different stages of our development and so forth. I think it'll be a completely different game on Saturday, to be honest.
Beautiful. And for some of your young guys, on the weekend was one of their first finals. Do you think that they panicked in the second quarter? And was it good? Did you take a lot out of that you came through in the end, that you brought it back?
Yeah, I agree with that to some extent. I think it was the first taste of finals for a few of them, and I think they acquitted themselves really well. There's probably a few skill errors and a few fumbles that we can probably attribute to the. It was a really high intensity game and a physical game as well. So. But look, they kept their heads. We probably wasted a few opportunities in the third quarter to put them away earlier, but they kept their heads and kept their composure and got the job done in the last quarter. So I think that's a real positive we can take out of it.
Beautiful. Any concerns with the kicking 2-9 in the second?
Oh, well, as I touched on, there's probably some wasted opportunities. But look, it was pretty tough out there, to be honest. It was blowing. A heavy crosswind, but finals football, you've really got to take your chances, and you can rue it if you don't. So certainly, once we have a shot at goal this week, we'll be doing everything to put it through the big ones.
Beautiful. And Jason Delaney had another great game. He's been playing really well. How important is he to your midfield as well? Because they're looking like your powerhouse at the moment.
Yeah, the midfield's been pretty good this year, led by Jace, who's had a really consistent year. I think he missed a couple of games with some illness, but other than that, he's been really consistent. But it hasn't just been Jace. There's probably been 3 or 4 of them who have really contributed in that facet, which is probably where we've been lacking a little bit of depth in the last few years. Some guys have really come on through there, and I think Rick touched on it before that we're pretty much up on par now with the best midfields going around in terms of contested ball and that sort of thing. So. It should be a ripper battle in the middle on Saturday.
Beautiful. Any changes to the team?
At this stage, we've probably got a full list to choose from. Sam Cooper had a little bit of an ankle on Saturday, but he's named in the side. He'll have a run Thursday and have a test. And other than that, I probably can't foresee any major changes.
How important would the week off be? Obviously, you've got some young guys. Have they got sore bodies by the end of this season?
Oh, look at. A week off, there's arguments for both sides, but we're fortunate enough to be in the position now where we've given ourselves a double chance. So whether it's this week or next week, we'll be going all out to try and win the game and get ourselves into the grand final.
Beautiful. What do you think? How the game's going to be won on the weekend? How do you think you're going to go up against Sunbury?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some pretty key matchups, to be honest. Sunbury have got really good depth across their team, not just through the midfield but also forward as well. And also some running halfbacks, so it's really going to be a matter of finding the right matchups and so forth. I thought their style of play on Saturday differed a little bit from what they had done earlier in the year, so there's a few things there that we'll have to work on. But I'm just really looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a cracker on Saturday. So
fantastic, Robert. And how does it feel to be already through to the second week of finals and then go straight through to third as well? Either way, we'll have the week off. How does it feel after finishing 7th? It must be.
Oh yeah, look, it's good. I mean, probably exceeded a few people's expectations, but certainly not ours within the footy club. That's where we were aiming. That's where we're at. We deserve to be there. and we're going all out to go one, if not two steps better. So, you know, the guys are really excited and with the opportunity that's been given to them.
Beautiful. And just lastly, you've signed up for another year. Is that you're obviously pretty happy with the team, how they're going in development?
Yeah, I think they've been developing really, really well. You know, all the coaching staff have put a fair bit of work into them this year, and they're starting to see the benefits of a couple of years of development and so forth. And you know, they're all homegrown boys, and you know, they're gelling together really, really well. So yeah, I'm excited about you know, years beyond this one, but at the moment I'm purely focused on the next week or two.
To what extent do you feel things are falling your way at the moment?
Oh, I don't think it's necessarily fallen my way. It's been bloody hard work, but you know, I think it's a credit to the actual work that the playing group's put in. And you know, obviously we won our first final, and now we have a double chance, and you know, we want to do everything in our power to be able to utilise that. You know, I wouldn't say it's necessarily falling our way as such. Obviously, you need a bit of luck with injuries and so forth during the year, but you know, here we are in a second semi-final, and there's 4 of us left in, and only 2 of them can reach a grand final, and that's our aim, and then we reassess from there.
Obviously, in the past, East Point's done well to get into finals and hasn't gone any further, or hasn't been able to take off the main prize. To what extent, though, is the team now a different team to the ones from a few years ago that have got as far as you've got this time?
Yeah, look, it's a completely different makeup, to be honest. From you know, we're talking back probably 3, 4, 5 years ago. All these guys are a young group, sort of 2021. A lot of them having their first taste of finals experience, and you know, they're just going out there to play and take the game on. And sometimes that's the benefit of a young group, is that you know, nothing seems to worry them or get them down. So we'll use that a little bit, but our previous years are irrelevant. We're focusing on this week, and you know, seeing if we can get the job done and go into a grand final.
Sweet. Thank you very much.
Good.